everyone, it's Mrs. Dix here again with your October's guidance lesson today. And first things first, I know that it might look a little bit different, you guys being at home and doing our guidance lesson from your own home instead of here at school. Here at school we like to have some games and we like to have fun in my room. And hopefully that after you have watched this video, our activity and our little game will still be fun for you all at home. So make sure that you watch this entire video to get the full lesson before you move on to your activity. Now, I did have a lot of you last time send me your finished activity sheets, and I really appreciated that, and I really enjoyed looking at your hard work. And I'm so very proud of you all who did turn those in for me. So, October is a lot of things. It is the start of fall. It is when leaves are turning colors and falling off the trees. There's pumpkin patches, all kinds of things, right? It's Halloween. It's lots of candy. But there's something that means a whole lot to Mrs. Dix. Can you guys think about what it is? Many of my friends here at school think of Integrity Month. And it is Integrity Month. That means that we are focusing on showing integrity as part of building our own character. So yes, we are focusing on integrity, which means that we are telling the truth even when it's hard. Or if we find $1, we're not keeping it. We're making sure that we get it back to who it belongs to. Those are always to show integrity. But October is also something else. And if you remember, I have posted on your online courses quite a few times letting you know what this month is. Any guesses? Think. It starts with a B, if that helps you at all. So I'll help you out just in case. It is Bullying Prevention Month. Now, does that mean that we only worry about bullying and trying to prevent it in October and the rest of the year we're not worried about it at all? No, that is not what that means. What Bullying Prevention Month means is that we are focusing super duper hard in the month of October on ways that we can prevent bullying from happening ever again at our school, at Chickasaw, or at home even. So the reason we have Bullying Prevention Month and the reason we focus so hard on it is to make sure that it doesn't happen in the future. So that is what our lesson is going to be about today. It's going to tie in with Bullying Prevention Month. And the one thing that I really want you guys to realize is that it is not just about this month. It's about the entire year. So my kiddos who are at home right now, if you have plans to return to school at any point this year, this is important to understand so that when you do come back, you are prepared. You're prepared to be a bullying fighter. I like to compare bullying to the coronavirus, which sounds kind of silly, but they actually have a whole lot alike, a whole lot in common. So coronavirus over here and bullying over here. When I think of these two things, I think of one thing, one big thing that they have in common. They make people feel bad. They make people feel not so good, right? Because if you have coronavirus or you've had it, you probably didn't feel so good. And if you're being bullied, or if you've ever witnessed someone being bullied, it probably didn't feel so good either. So they actually have quite a bit in common. But there's one big difference between corona and bullying. And this is something that I love to point out. I know that many of you at home, my second and third graders, probably one day want to be a doctor. But are you a doctor just yet? Probably not. So, while you may want to be a doctor one day, you're not a doctor right now, and so we can't just cure coronavirus, can we? Not on our own. Now, there are things that we can do. We can wear our masks when we're supposed to at school. We can wash our hands super well. and we can try to stay 6 feet away from one another. These are all things we can do to help coronavirus, but we can't cure it ourselves. We're not doctors just yet, right? But think. Can you cure bullying? Think. Do you have the magic cure for bullying? The answer is yes. And the answer is kindness. You're like, what? Yes. So we all have the cure to bullying. The cure to bullying is pretty simple. It's kindness. So the thing that I've been asking all my kiddos here is this: if everyone who was in my room at that time, if everyone in this school showed each other kindness, all of the students, all the teachers, the principal, me, every one of us in this building, if we were all kind to one another 100% of the time, meaning always, if we were always kind to one another, would bullying even exist? No, it wouldn't. So if we were all very kind to each other all the time, bullying would have no place here at Chickasaw. So you probably didn't even know it, but you have the cure to bullying, and that is kindness. So that's what we're talking about today. We're going to go ahead and move on, and today we're talking about filling people's buckets. Now, for those of you who went to Olive Branch Elementary up the hill, this probably sounds a little bit familiar, but our lesson is going to be a little different. So today we're talking about filling a bucket and what that means, as well as dipping from buckets and what that could mean. So we're going to go ahead and read our book, and just so you guys know, I will also put this link to watch the video of the book up on this assignment as well, just in case you wanted to watch it. All right, so this is called How Full Is Your Bucket? And I will just read from it, and then I'll show you the pictures. Felix was putting one of the last blocks on his tower when his little sister came in. I want to build with you, she said. Felix scowled. Go away. You're too little. I'm big. Stay back. You'll knock it over. I can be very careful. Go play with your baby toys, Anna. Whack! Grandpa shook his head. Felix, you just dipped from your sister's bucket. Like everyone else, Anna has an invisible bucket. When it's empty, she feels bad, and when it's full, she feels great. Didn't you ever notice your own bucket? Invisible bucket? Sometimes Felix couldn't quite tell when his grandfather was joking. But the next morning when Felix woke up, there it was, a small gray bucket floating above his head. Excuse me. When Felix came down to have breakfast, his mom was in a hurry. I've got a meeting this morning, and it's almost time to go. Anna, sit still. Felix slipped and choco wheat scattered across the floor. Felix, yelled his mom, you should have used the stool for that. Felix could feel his bucket tip, a big invisible drips spill out. Drip, drip. Ha ha, Anna laughed as she scrunched the cereal underneath her shoe. Drip. Get the broom and clean that up before you miss the bus, scolded Mom. With the school bus honking, Felix quickly swept up the choco wheats and grabbed the last blueberry muffin. But before he could even take one bite, Buster jumped up and grabbed the muffin from his hand. Drip. Hey, look at Felix's new backpack. My baby brother has one just like it. Drip. Watch out, Shrimp, said one of his friends. Felix is having a rough day so far. It was still morning and Felix's bucket felt almost empty. As he watched his classmates walk into the room, he secretly hoped they would trip and fall. That's what it feels like when you have an empty bucket. Felix slumped into his seat and waited for something else bad to happen. Mrs. Bumpernickel walked slowly up to his desk and handed him a paper. He could hardly bear to look. But, she said, Felix, you wrote a wonderful story. Would you please share it with the class? Felix grinned and felt a big drop land right in his bucket. Drop. A Gigantosaurus who wanted a pet by me, Felix. The class grew quiet. They laughed at the right places and oohed at the scary parts. When Felix finally read the end, everyone clapped. Even Emily, who sat next to him and didn't usually like dinosaurs. Felix felt a whole shower of drops land in his bucket. Maybe the day wouldn't be so bad after all. Team captains today are Veronica and Felix. Nice cow. It's a dog. Well, nice colors there, Felix. Cool laser ant backpack, Felix. Notice all of those drops going into his bucket. By afternoon, Felix's bucket was nearly full. At recess, when he looked around, Felix suddenly realized that his grandpa was right. Everyone else had a bucket, too. Notice some of them are full and some of them are almost empty. Let me help you. Drop, drop. Here's your baseball. Catch. Thanks, dude. Drop, drop. Hi, I'm Felix. Is it your first day? Yes, I'm Amir. Drop, drop. The strange thing was that for every drop he helped put in someone else's bucket, he felt another drop in his own bucket. When Felix burst in the door after school, he shouted, "You were right, Grandpa. I do have a bucket, and I understand how it works." Then he saw Anna's torn doll. "Bad dog," he almost scolded. But then he thought, dogs might have an invisible bucket too. "Your doll will be okay, Anna," said Felix. "Mom will fix her. Until then, do you want to help me build the tallest building in the world with my blocks?" And so they did. And notice both of their buckets are full. All right, so usually this is when I would ask my friends what all they noticed from our book. But since I can't actually talk to you one-on-one, we are just going to go ahead and have some questions. And I want you to think about these answers in your head as I ask them. Now, the first thing is that did Felix start his day with a full bucket, or was he having a pretty rough day? Well, the answer is he was having a pretty rough day. And he was having a rough day, and so his bucket was pretty low, right? Now, whenever somebody did something nice to Felix, what happened to his bucket? That's right, he got a drop put into his bucket, and then that helps his bucket fill up. Here is another question. What happens whenever Felix was nice to someone else? He got a drop into his bucket, right? That is what's super cool about this. So if we are kind to someone else, not only does that person get a drop into their bucket, but you, by doing something kind, also get a drop into your own bucket. So it really benefits everyone if we are kind to one another. Now, here is something that I love to talk about with my kiddos. No, it is not okay to ever bully someone. It is not okay. We need to let an adult know. But I do want us to understand maybe why people are not always nice to us. If you remember, when Felix's bucket was very low, how was he treating the people around him? Not very well, right? So the next time that you've got someone who's not being very nice to you, the one thing that we can do to make sure that it stops, or to try to help it to stop, what could we do? That's right. We could fill their bucket. Because odds are, if that person is not being very nice to us, it's because their bucket is really low and they're feeling really low. So if we want to make sure that they are kind to other people, we need to offer them kindness. Because if we fill their bucket, then their bucket is going to be real nice and full. And we've already said that when your bucket is full, you feel so much better. And you're more likely to be kind to everyone around you. So I'll circle back to my main question. If we were all kind to one another 100% of the time, always, which is hard, right? It's hard. But if we were all kind to one another all the time, our buckets would be so full that we could cure bullying. So I want you to think about that next time someone is not being very nice to you. Try to offer them some kindness and see how far that takes you. All right. Now, at this point, typically in my classroom, if you are in third grade or if you are in second grade, we usually have two different assignments depending on what grade you were in. So I'm going to go ahead and explain my second grade assignment. Now, this is how I know that you have understood our lesson. All right, so this is what our second grade worksheet looks like. And I will also have this up under the assignment so that you can print it and you can fill it out if you would like, however you want to do that. Or if you just want to kind of draw this on another sheet of paper and you want to do it on your own, that's also fine. Basically, what you're going to do is put your sweet little name on it first. Then you see a line down here at the very bottom. That line is where you are going to write your one way that you plan to fill a bucket today. Now, here's the tricky part with both of these assignments. I do not want you to put, I can be nice, or I can be kind. Because while that is true, when you say I can be nice, do I know what you mean by that? No. I don't know exactly what it is you're going to do to show someone kindness or to show someone that you are being nice to them. So I need you to be more specific. I need you to give me more details. So if you're going to say, I can be kind, then you need to say, by holding the door for someone, or by smiling at someone new in the hallway, or by, since you guys are at home, I can show kindness by helping my brother with the chores. So it needs to be very detailed. You see how I gave an example of how to be kind or nice. Make sure you do that. After you've done that, let me make sure my computer's still on. You may color. Now, I'll give you a little bit of an example for what your bucket might look like. Let me go grab mine really quickly. Alright, so this is my bucket, and you can see that my bucket has a nice big smile on it. You might draw your big bucket with a nice smile on it. You might draw it with butterflies in it, or drops of water in it, or flowers, or rainbows. Whatever you want to draw on your bucket, you feel free to do that. That is up to you. Alrighty, and now this is my big third grader's assignment. So it's a little bit more to it. I do need you to put your name. There's no place to put your name, but put your name if you're going to turn it in so I know who did it. And then you're going to go down here, and you can read. It says, I can add a drop to a friend's bucket by. And I need you to give me an example, just like my second graders do, and I need it to be detailed, okay? Don't just put, I can be nice. No, I don't know what you mean by that. So you need to give me a very detailed example of how you're going to fill a bucket today. And then you may color your sheet, all right? Same goes for our third graders. If you want to fill that out and you finish it, you may send it in to me via Schoology, okay? That's how I'm going to check. Now, after you've done those assignments, there is a game that we can play kind of over the computer like this, I guess. And you can probably even make this game up at your house using a bowl as your bucket. Or if you have a bucket, of course, you can use that. And then I have got a whole big bunch of cards right here. And on each one of these cards, there is an example of something that would either fill my bucket or dip from my bucket. Okay, and remember, when you dip from someone's bucket, do you get to put those good feelings in your own bucket? No. Those good feelings go poof, bye-bye. Because when you dip from someone else's bucket, they do not get to go into yours. So you're taking them from someone else's bucket, and then they go by. Okay? So that's kind of what we're focusing on here in this game. Usually, I would give a slip to a bunch of different kiddos in my room, and we would read it out loud. And if the class thought that that thing deserved putting some good feelings in my bucket, then we would clap twice. And we would put the good feelings in my bucket. And if the class thought that that would not be good for me and it would dip from my bucket, then the class just says, dip, and I dip out some good feelings. So we will play. I'll give you a few examples so that you can play at home if you would like. All right. Usually I have a friend hold this bucket, but we'll do the best we can. All right. So the first slip says, being a friend. Now, I think that that would drip some buckets, or drip some good feelings into my bucket. So I'm going to take some good feelings, and I'm going to put those into my bucket. Thank you for those. All right, the next one. Oh, no. It says, throwing a fit. What do you think? I think that would dip from my bucket. So we're going to take out some good feelings and put them back in our bag. All right. Ooh, here's one. Working together. I think that would definitely put some good feelings into my bucket. I would love to see that. You guys are filling my bucket. Look at this. All right. Whoops. Thank you so much for all those good feelings. All right, let's see here. Not talking while others are talking. I definitely think that that would fill my bucket. I love when you guys are respectful to one another. So let's put a whole big bunch of good feelings in my bucket. All right. Mean teasing. Oh, goodness. I think you're right. I think that we would dip from my bucket. Oh, no. Bye-bye, good feelings. All right. Following Instructions. I definitely think that would fill my bucket. Definitely, definitely. Let's put some good feelings in there. All right, last one, but not least. Good listening. So when you listen in class, that fills my bucket big time. So let's put the rest of these good feelings in my bucket. Excellent job. All right, now take a look in my bucket. Look what you have done for me. You have filled my bucket today. And you guys can fill each other's buckets every single day. You can fill mom, dad, grandma, sister, uncle, aunt, whoever at home. You can even fill their buckets every single day. And I challenge you guys to do that and see how it makes your whole day so much brighter. All right, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that you give this game a try at home. If you have any questions at all, or you need anything at all from me, just message me on Schoology, and I will do my very best to help you all out. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.